Welcome to another edition of Seipp and Shaun, a TWSN special. And speaking of special, we have a very special guest, March Madness icon, St. Peter's superstar, and now a guard at Bryant for the upcoming season, Doug Edert. Doug, how are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We are fantastic. Obviously, you were someone who was in the news quite a little bit, right? This past March with St. Peter's, who I really think is the biggest Cinderella story in college basketball. I don't know if you would consider it Cinderella. I know sometimes certain players like to say, "Hey, well, we expected to be there," right? Is that what you think, or do you consider it a Cinderella story?
No, we were definitely underdogs. It was definitely a Cinderella story, but at the same time, our mindset was that we belong.
I'm sure. So, just to get started, obviously your face was everywhere in March. So now we're meeting in August. So how's the summer been? Has everything toned down a little bit? Are you still being continued to be recognized everywhere? How's the summer going?
Yeah, so the summer's going great. I was at Bryant the first half for the first summer session, and it was awesome. I loved it up there. There's people all over there that are really respectful, and they really they love the basketball team and stuff. So I think it's gonna be a great year. And then in regards to people recognizing me, yeah, people still do recognize me. Um, there's people that send me stuff, like send me mailing stuff to my house that I sign like autographs and send it back to them. But no, yeah, it definitely died down a little bit since March, but that was a crazy time. That was unreal. So I mean, it definitely died down, but it's still people do still recognize who I am and stuff.
Yeah, and I'm sure that once the college basketball season begins again, it doesn't matter that you're in Bryant because everyone's going to still be looking, for
Right.
Bryant to watch you play. I'm sure. Um, so obviously, let's just start a little bit about St. Peter's, right? If that's okay, because obviously that's where you became Doug, right? So just a little bit, you started in New Jersey, right? You grew up in New Jersey, and obviously you ended up at St. Peter's. So take me through a little bit of your high school career and how you really ended up at St. Peter's.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, I went to Bergen Catholic High School, and I played under Coach Billy Armstrong, who taught me the game and taught me a lot of great things, all the fundamentals, and really had a different philosophy on basketball than most coaches do. Uh, there was so much knowledge that he shared, and it kind of helped me develop my game and take it to the next level. Because when I went into high school, I wasn't a Division I player. I wasn't really, I wasn't freakishly athletic. I was kind of always an underdog. I was just like a common guy, and then my game started to develop throughout my years in high school, and then I had a couple offers going into my senior year, and my thought process was I want to make my decision and know where I'm going to go to school before my senior year starts so I can just play that last senior year just free. Don't have to worry about recruiting, what coaches are talking to me and stuff. So no, yeah. So I definitely made my decision before that. I committed to St. Peter's, and I was really happy with my decision. Coach Holloway and his coaching staff, they recruited me hard, and they treated me like family right away. So I knew it was the perfect spot. And then the rest of my senior year, I wasn't worried about where I was going to play basketball next year if coaches would come. So I was just hooping really, and
Mhm.
then that's how I ended up at St. Peter's.
Gotcha. So, obviously it could be a little different sometimes to make that decision before you play a second or senior year of high school. How comfortable did you feel with the coaching staff, and especially, head coach Shaheen Holloway, who we've all grown to know and love? Sean actually goes to a MAC school. He goes to Riley. He's covered the team for a long time. So, everyone has seen Holloway for a long time, but what was your personal relationship like, and how comfortable was it to commit to St. Peter's and Coach Holloway before you even played your senior year?
Yeah, no, I mean they definitely recruited me hard. I mean all the coaches, really, the whole coaching staff. They were always at the games and stuff, and always texting me, calling me, making sure I'm doing good. And really the phone calls is what gets you. So like coaches calling you almost every day, checking up, how's everything going, how's your family. That you just build a certain relationship with that, and it definitely took me to it said something to me. It really touched me. I'm really like this could be the spot where I want to play my next couple years of basketball with, and that's really how it all went.
So
And I mean, like, kind of building off that, because I mean, I'm sure you saw the videos, everything going around on social media. One of the things was this St. Peter's, this really small campus. this endowment, or not really a big endowment, like it's just kind of plopped in the middle of Jersey City, you know? So what do you think that said about like what spoke to you specifically? Like you touch on a little bit, but to overcome all of that, I'm sure you got recruited by schools with maybe nicer campuses, maybe coaches who weren't trying to make their way. What was it so much about Shaheen that even like a school like St. Peter's, where it's not the prettiest in the entire world, you said, this is the place for me to develop?
That's a great question. I would love to talk about that. That's awesome. So, yeah, no, the campus is definitely not a great high value campus compared to these other schools that have other like facilities and stuff. But that didn't really play a factor in my decision making because I know Coach Holloway's a winner. He won at every level. He was a fantastic player, and as a coach, I saw his vision. He explained his vision to me and how he's going to win with me or without me. And I wanted to be a part of it. So I take winning very seriously. Like that's like my main thing. Like I want to win everywhere I go. So winning is always on my mind, no matter how I play or how anything goes, as long as the win is there, then I'm good. So he was talking solely about winning, and that really caught my attention. And it really wanted me to go there and then just win some games. And then that turned into history.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about that winning culture. And Mac had a few decent teams this year. Obviously, you guys, Iona, Monmouth had a solid season as well. As the season progressed, were you thinking, hey, we can make it to the freaking Elite Eight, or were you still nervous about getting past Iona? Like, how confident were you guys, in your group as the regular season progressed and as March, came up?
Yeah, so I mean, we were really confident in ourselves because of the practices. Practice every day for as hard as you can for a lot of hours, and you're really competing against your teammates. You're like your brothers. You're really competing. Everyone's coming out with scratches and bruises and stuff. Like that's how you know like you really competed today. Everyone's mad when they lose, and people are happy when they win. So it's the competitive nature that we built and the mindset that really got us ready for all right, like we could really beat these teams. Like we really know how to out tough teams and how to get wins late in the game. And I mean that's really where it started. And then knowing like we were playing Iona and then we're gonna go to March and stuff. That was we looked at the next game. We didn't move ahead to what's gonna happen in March. We really took it game by game. And then once the game was over, we looked right to the next game. We moved on. We had a quick turnaround. You can't get too high, too low on wins and losses. So as soon as the game ended, we're on to the next one, and we got to focus on the game plan and how we're gonna get that win.
So I mean, you kind of just said next game, but Tom obviously mentioned Iona. You played them twice in the regular season. I remember one of the games being close. But when they lost in that quarterfinal, was it like kind of a relief, or did you want to maybe beat the team that everybody thought was the favorite on that path to March?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in my opinion, it didn't really matter who we were playing. But seeing that upset, I think that was an upset, and I think everybody else thought that was an upset too when Ryder beat Iona. But yeah, no, seeing that happen, it was like okay, like March here, like stuff is gonna get crazy. Like you never know what's gonna happen, so we really got to bring our A game every single night and try to get the job done, and that's what we did.
And then kind of like building off, like you get to March, and one of the things, I mean, like Tom just mentioned, I went to Ryder, been watching this team. Like I remember that freshman year where I think you guys beat Iona in the MAC tournament. You guys have always gone 8-9 deep. And a large part of that 8, 9, 10 guys you can go, and Defo, Banks, the Drame brothers. You guys have all really came up on this together. You've had this core that was in place for 3 years that was part of history. What does that make it more special that it was this kind of process that you guys all did together from day one for the most part?
Yeah, no, for sure. I totally agree. I mean, so coming into our freshman year, I know it was me, Matt, Daryl Banks, the twins. Like we all met each other for the first time, and at that time we met each other. We kind of knew each other a little bit, and even you could throw Casey in there too. Casey's been there the year before us, but he kind of led us in the right direction. As a leader. But in regards to the class that I was part of, we all met each other and like we kind of saw each other and we're like, okay, whatever. And then it was like we became friends, and then we became brothers after that. And then it was like we were playing for each other. We developed so much our relationships. We developed them so much from our freshman year to now. So I mean, it's crazy how that process goes. And the more we kind of developed our relationships, the better we were playing on the court together. We trusted each other. We understood how each other plays and what gets each person going. So I think we were able to use that to our advantage when trying to win some tough games.
So, and I kind of, to follow up like the kind of the building process, and then there's also the kind of moment where it all ends. Like they say you really don't know that you're making history as it's happening. Like you get so caught up in the moment. But when that heartbreak did kind of come in the Elite Eight, you know, the entire country rooting for you. When were you able to sit back and kind of say like, holy crap, we just did something that's never been done? Like, what was that moment like?
Yeah, no, it definitely took me a little bit. It definitely took me like either a week or two, something like that. I don't remember the exact day, but as time went on, like after that loss, it was very tough, very emotional. They were a great team. They got us, but it's just those times where you want to just like start the game over and play how we normally play. But no, I mean it was emotional. But then you look back at it like 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, a month later, it's different for every person. And then you really see like how special what we really did. It was like you start watching the games again and you start like reliving the moments and start explaining like stories and stuff to each other. And at that time, it's like we really went to the Elite Eight as an underdog. So I mean, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and notice how a few questions ago, Shaun had to bring up Ryder a few times, because
of course,
he had to bring it up
yeah,
a few times, but whatever. So I do want to touch a little bit on March because obviously, how can I not before we talk about Bryant? So I'm curious, like, what was your mentality, when you're in the actual NCAA tournament? Obviously that first game against Kentucky, and then obviously you get to play 3 more. But are you thinking before game 1, hey, we could beat Kentucky, or are you thinking, hey, let's just enjoy this? And then as time get on, it got a little bit more serious, like, hey, we can keep winning. Like, what was your mindset before tip off in game 1?
Yeah, so I have to bring that back to Selection Sunday. We find out we're playing Kentucky, and then we got together as a team. We said like we're going there to win. Like even our coach is the main one to tell us all like. So we're all on the same page. Like we're not going to March Madness for just the experience, just to have a good time, just to be a part of it. Mm-hmm. Like we're going there to win. We have the winning mindset. It's a business trip. There's nothing but laser focus on getting a win. So our practice for that game, our preparation was the craziest preparation I've ever done in my life. It was the hardest practices. We really competed against each other, like I was talking about earlier, and because we really wanted to prepare ourselves for the big game that we had ahead of us. And then once we're before the game at Kentucky, we're all saying to each other, like, we're really here, like let's do this. Like there's so many people watching us and stuff. Like it's just the environment was unreal. So we're like we really wanted to play as hard as we can. We really wanted to make some noise. So then the game goes on a little bit. It starts off a little slow on both sides, but then we get to the first timeout and it's like a close game, and we have that feeling that we could like really play with them. Like we could play with like all the superstars and their great Kentucky team. We kind of said to ourselves like let's go win this. Like we could actually win this. We could play with them. So let's go do it. And then that was really really the mindset for the rest of the game.
Yeah, no, I love it. And obviously this might be a stupid question because your answer could be 5 different answers. But which was your favorite game to be a part of, like as an experience as a whole? Was it the Kentucky game? Was it even the MAC championship? Was it Purdue? Which game, was your, like, you just look back at that one specifically, which again, it might be a stupid question because you're going to say all of them, but.
No, I mean, yeah, so definitely all of them. I'm going to say answer all of them because, I mean, it's just like each one has their own different significance, and it's just I love them all. Like it was just a great experience to be a part of it, to winning those games. But if I had to pick one, I would say Kentucky. Okay. Only because like that was like going before the game, nobody in the country knew St. Peter's besides our St. Peter's fan base and stuff, and it was very small. And then after that game, I feel like everybody knew St. Peter's. Everyone's all St. Peter's, St. Peter's. So I feel like that was the game that really took us to that next step of like publicity throughout the country. So I'd have to definitely say Kentucky.
Now, after that game,
Tom, I told you so. I told you we'd take Kentucky. I just want to remind you about that.
What did you think I was going to say?
He thought what did you think he was gonna say? Purdue, right?
No, I thought Kentucky. My other friend thought Purdue. So
Purdue.
thanks.
Purdue's up there though because that's the Sweet 16. Like
I mean, like I get it. There's no wrong answer. You
right,
could have put any of them, and I would have been like, I get it.
Yeah.
So I understand it. But in that last answer, you mentioned the publicity to St. Peter's. Now, Doug, that was very humble of you, but obviously the publicity came for you as well, right? What was the reaction? What was your feeling like? Obviously you just beat Kentucky in the NCAA tournament, and it's just like, Doug, like what was your reaction to it all?
Yeah, no, definitely to start us off. It was a team effort. It was all of us, teammates, coaches, everybody from top to bottom. Complete team effort to get that huge win. And then in regards to me, I start seeing my face on social media and my mustache and stuff, and I'm like, what is going on right now? So like, it was kind of, I wouldn't say overwhelming because I loved it. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was all funny and great and stuff. But no, I mean, it was just a great time, seriously, for all of us. All of our phones are blown up after the game. People are texting us, congratulations, like that's a huge win and stuff. And like social media is blowing up. So, I mean, we all had a great time together as a team. And it was like that point we were like let's really make a run in this. Like, this is really like, we want to experience this again. So let's go win the next game, and then let's win the next game. So it was kind of like one of those things where we just never wanted it to end.
And you mentioned how your phones were probably blowing up. I think I saw a small clip that Bryant did of like who was the craziest person that reached out to you. Were you getting like, was it just a lot of your friends and people at St. Peter's, or were there like actual professional athletes and big time people who were reaching out to you throughout the entire tournament?
It was mostly just my friends and stuff, and then there was a bunch of just random people, like fans that were saying stuff, which I love all of it. And then there wasn't as many like big time people that were reaching out and stuff, but like I said, Mac Jones was like the biggest guy. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, no, it's mainly just my friends, and like even people I haven't talked to in a while, they reached back out to me. So just to see like all the support there, it just it made me feel really good.
Sure. Mac Jones is a pretty good one, by the way.
Are you a Patriots fan?
I'm not. I'm a Jets fan.
Oh, okay. Oh, does that kind of lessen the impact of it? Like, just not as cool because like he's a rival? Or?
No, it's definitely pretty cool. I mean, NFL is always cool.
So I'll never forget one of the moments, kind of like that March time, post March. It's like, so obviously you're living on my cell phone every time I go on Twitter, and then I'm driving on the highway and I see a St. Peter's billboard, and I'm driving another 25 minutes and I see another one. Like, you guys literally just took over the entire state of Jersey. But then one of the, like, when I see you on my phone, it was the NIL deals. Obviously, like the NIL kind of first came in, like this kind of maybe happened at a little bit of the most opportune time for you guys to be a Cinderella. You got the Buffalo Wild Wings deal. I have a friend who bought your Barstool merch, if I'm being honest. So like, what was that like? What is that kind of like to be able to kind of capitalize off of all this, not only just emotionally and make these memories, but to like kind of, I mean, maybe somewhat set an example for future teams and future players like yourself who do get this sudden brand recognition.
Right. So I mean, no, I think the whole NIL thing is awesome. I think every athlete should be rewarded in some type of way for all the hard work that they do. But yeah, for me personally, at the time I was really very locked in on basketball. All I cared about was basketball. So I had like a support team to help me with all the NIL stuff that was coming in and stuff. But I thought it was a great thing. It was a time in my life where I was like, you had to capitalize on it. Like, there's no way you could do this and not capitalize on it in some way. So I mean, in that regard, it was good. But I feel like, again, like the whole NIL thing is so new. And I feel like there's a bunch of athletes, not just in basketball and football, but like all different sports. People should be recognized for all their hard work that they put in. And I think that they should get rewarded for all their hard work that they put in every day.
But were you surprised, I guess, a little bit at all, when you started getting this kind of recognition? How did the Buffalo Wild Wings specifically, like, how did that one come about?
Yeah, I was definitely surprised because it's like, so when NIL, I think it was like that season, if I'm not mistaken, that NIL was brand new. And like in the beginning of the year, I'm like, yeah, like this is never going to apply to me. Nobody wants to Doug anything. So I'm like, all right, whatever. And then that happens. And then you get Buffalo Wild Wings going into your DMs on Instagram, and I'm like looking at it, like making sure it's right. Like I'm like, what is going on? So then from that, it just we made a deal, and then it was the rest is history. I mean, it's there.
So that happened over an Instagram DM?
Yeah, they reached out to me.
Was it like from the Buffalo Wild Wings account or like from somebody?
Yeah, the whole Wild Wings account. That's why I'm looking at it. I'm like, what is going on right now? Like, this is so random, but I mean, I love it.
Oh, that's so funny. I can imagine getting an Instagram DM from like an actual restaurant.
Right. That was pretty cool.
And then, my bad. And then I kind of, one of the things I've always kind of wondered is, well, I've talked about that last moment where the loss happened, but what was it like kind of making that decision to kind of leave St. Peter's? Like, I know there's kind of a lot of the guys left, but was it kind of a poetic way? Like, did you just know this was the time to leave when it was over?
Yeah. So with that, nobody said anything to like right after the loss. We gave it a couple days to kind of decompress, kind of like get ourselves back together. But we saw obviously our coach got the job at Seton Hall, which is we all loved that for him. We were very happy for him. There was no hard feelings for that. But then it was that decision, us having to come back without our head coach, it would be really hard to do the same thing again. So we kind of got together, a couple of us, and we started talking, and we decided to go our own ways. We decided to go into the transfer portal and see where that takes us. And it was definitely hard to do, like realizing like, okay, we're not going to be together next year. Like we've been living with each other for what, 3 years now. And now next year we're going to go to a different school. It's all going to be different. So, I mean, that was kind of tough, but that was really the thought process was our coach leaving, going to Seton Hall, again, a great job. That's his dream job. Obviously he played there when he was a player, but we were all happy for him. And then we just had to go our own ways.
And, Doug, obviously, we mentioned how, everyone kind of went their separate ways, right? And Defo went to Seton Hall. Listen, Shaun had the Rider mention. Daryl Banks went to Bonaventure. I'm a Bonnie. I'm not going to lie. We would love that. But, Banks went to Bonaventure and Defo, everyone goes their separate ways. And you land on Bryant, right? So let's talk about Bryant. What was so attractive to you, to continue your collegiate career at Bryant?
Okay, so I go into the transfer portal in the morning, and then I'm in class, and my phone starts vibrating like crazy. And my phone's going crazy in my pocket. I'm like, what is going on? So I left the class, checked my phone, and I saw like a bunch of random different numbers texting me. And I look at them. It's like, hi, this is Coach so-and-so from the assistant coach at Bryant, assistant coach at Bryant, the head coach at Bryant. 3 missed calls. I'm like, what is going on? Like, so I called the head coach back after class, and then I was talking to him, and he was showing like, we really want you. Like this is us showing like how much of a priority you are, how much we really want you to be a part of our team at Bryant. And I had a great conversation with him. And then it was so early in the process where I had to give it a couple of days, like to see my other options as well. Mm-hmm. So a couple other coaches reached out to me through email, text, call, a couple of them, but no other coach showed as much interest in me as Coach Grasso at Bryant. So that kind of messed my mind a little bit of saying like it persuaded me to go to Bryant. Then I set up a visit, go there, see a beautiful campus. I had a great time there. Met a couple of the players, and right then and there I committed because I knew you get that feeling like it's right. So I committed, and then that was that.
Now I'm sure if your parents ever listen to this, they'll be happy to hear that you were in class even after March Madness, and you waited to call them back or talk to them until after class. So good job to get the academic.
Exactly. That's academics are the priority.
There you go. So
he's a student athlete, not an athlete.
Student. Exactly. I like that.
There you go. So now obviously once you get to Bryant, I don't know if you're there right now or if you've done summer sessions already, but what has it been like, being on campus and really meshing with, your new teammates?
Yeah, I mean, it's been awesome. So like I said, I've been there the first half of the summer. Right now I'm back home until I go back into the fall. But working out there for a majority of the summer, meeting my new team and all the guys, I mean, they're all really cool. We're all gelling on the court. We have a lot of new guys. So there's definitely a curve with like we got to learn how each other play and stuff and what works best for everybody. So our coach is doing a great job of organizing it, kind of letting us go out there and compete and see what everybody can do. And I feel, in my opinion, I feel like we're going to be really, really good. I feel like we made a lot of progress in those couple days and weeks that we were there. So I mean, yeah, I love it so far.
So Bryant was also a team that got into the tournament this year. I believe that they won the conference. Yeah. And so does that make the school more attractive to you? When you probably got all these options, you're in the transfer portal, there's a difference between being, an under-recruited kid out of high school and then now being, an adult who just did what you did in March Madness with more eyes on you. I'm sure there's a little bit more attention from these coaches. When you have all these options, just going to a school that was just in March, you have a coach who could get you there. Does that make that school, with the attention they're showing you, does that make it more of a want for you?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I watched a couple of their games during my time, like looking at them when they were recruiting me. I was watching some games, seeing their play style, and I'm looking at their home court advantage, and the fan base is insane. Like the whole side of the bleachers was full of people in white T-shirts cheering for Bryant. And then there's a video of like the line to buy tickets, and it was just going throughout the whole building outside. I'm like, this is crazy. Like I feel like the love and support that the basketball team gets there is insane. So I mean, I really look forward to going there and being a part of it, playing there, and just enjoying all the support that we get.
And then obviously they got to the tournament, and as big of a viral sensation as you were, the guy they were talking about before the tournament was a little bit Peter Kiss. He was kind of like that guy that was the under the radar guy that people were like, oh, is he gonna carry Bryant to this level that you don't see most lower seeds get to? Turned out it was you. But do you feel, I guess, any pressure being this kind of highly regarded transfer, having to fill his shoes with him now departed?
No, I don't feel pressure. There's nothing to feel pressure for. I mean, I really put in the work every day. I work really hard. And then I just let whatever I can control, I try to control. And then whatever I can't, I just let that. Yeah, I can't control it. So there's no reason about worrying it. And then, but going there as a new player, as a transfer, I'm trying to figure it all out. I'm trying to find a way how I can help contribute to the team and get back to the tournament. That's really my goal.
And then obviously there's going to come a time where playing ball is over, but what about you post-college? I mean, to be honest, sounding from the way, it seems like you have a really good understanding of the recruiting process and kind of what gets players. Do you ever think about going into coaching? What is the plan for you maybe once, you are done at school?
Yeah. So after college, I mean, my goal has been the same goal as it was when I was a kid, and that's to get to the NBA. Whether that happens or not, I can't worry about it right now. I'm just going to try to do everything I can today, tomorrow, to be the best basketball player I can be, try to improve every day. But getting there, that's a long way from now. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But my goal is definitely to get to the NBA, if not play some kind of professional basketball overseas, anywhere. I'm just trying to play basketball for as long as I can.
Gotcha. So, we went through the basketball questions. We went through Bryant. We went through St. Peter's. And however many minutes we're into this, I have to finally ask you about your mustache. So, we talked about it a little bit. I know that it happened, in the middle of the regular season last year is what you're saying. So how did it happen? And is it staying forever?
Yeah. So how it happened? So because of COVID, our coach didn't want us going out. We had to stay in our bubble as like a team, try to avoid having contact with other people. So we weren't allowed to go to barbershops. So the point guard, Matt Lee, who was also one of my roommates, he learned how to cut hair. So him and Daryl Banks helped him. He helped Matt a little bit, like with my hair, because my hair is different than everybody else's. So we had to try to figure it all out, how we're going to do it. So my hair was all crazy. My facial hair was crazy. I'm like, Matt, I need a haircut, bro. Please help me out. So he's like, okay, we'll try. He used the help of Daryl. So Daryl and Matt are trying to figure it all out. And Matt's cut my hair. He gives me a haircut, great haircut. And then we move on to my facial hair. And then they want to mess around a little bit. So we had just cut this part of my my hair right here and just left my mustache and my chin hair. And we're like, no, let's get rid of the chin hair and just leave the mustache. So they did that. And they're like, wait a second, it actually looks like it fits you. And I'm looking at myself in the mirror, laughing, I might just leave it for a day as a joke. because it's just funny, like, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I left it. I decided to leave it. At the time, my girlfriend wasn't too happy with that decision, but I didn't care. I wanted to make people laugh, so I left it. And it was at that time I started making more shots and practices. Our team started playing better. We started winning more games. So now I'm like, hold on, like, I think my mustache is giving me some superpowers. So I kind of just left it for like a superstition thing, and the rest is history.
So you don't get to the Elite Eight without the mustache.
I think our odds decrease.
So, I mean, I got two kind of follow-ups to that. First one is, I mean, we talked about how the guy's transferring. How much are you going to miss those haircuts? Did you find a new barber over there by Bryant?
Yeah, I'm still looking over there. Matt definitely did a great job cutting my hair, and I'm gonna miss that. And obviously him like trimming my mustache and trying to like organize it. So I have to learn how to do that by myself now, which is definitely a challenge. I definitely miss Matt for that, but I gotta figure it out.
And obviously, I'm a pretty clean shaven. You know, I wish I could grow a stash like that. For guys like me and Tom, you got any advice on how to get something like so?
You just don't shave it. Just shave everything else. Just leave this. Don't ever touch it.
I'm gonna reach out to you in a couple months to give you an update on.
All right, yeah, thank you. Please do. I'll let you know how you're doing.
So I know another video that went viral, and I can sympathize with you, excuse me, on this one. So I remember during the tournament, like they did some videos asking you questions, and I don't know how this one got out, but about like your eating habits, right? So listen, I'm going to preface it with, I am the pickiest eater on the face of the earth. Like, I'm awful. Like, listen, I do eat sandwiches, but you know, whatever. I'm very picky.
Second pickiest in the world.
Yeah, I gotta ask you, like, from picky eater to picky eater, like it's tough, isn't it? Like to go out on these road trips, like it's, for me at least, like I get a little embarrassed sometimes, like here I am. But
right.
Is it tough? You know, sometimes
it definitely is tough. So my main thing, we have our pregame meal at St. Peter's, and for all games we have pasta, chicken, and like bread. There's salad there, other stuff I don't eat. So I'm very like a plain guy. So I like my chicken with no sauce on it. I like my pasta with no sauce on it. So we'd all have pasta, and then they'd have the sauce on the side just for me. So I could get my plain pasta, and everybody else would have to put their sauce on their own pasta and stuff. So I'm very thankful for my coaches who were thinking about me. Some of the meals, we get a lot of Subway, and I don't eat sandwiches.
Yeah,
so
not me either.
I had to they got me pizza. So I'm like, it's very tough, but I mean, it's an adjustment. I'm thankful for my coaches for putting up with it for the past couple of years. But I think the new coaching staff at Bryant needs to learn how to deal with my eating habits.
Yeah, like during the recruiting process, where you're like, all right, I'm only coming here if I get this pregame meal. Like, is that?
I can't be that picky in my recruiting process, but we'll figure it out. I think they'll take care of me.
I'm sorry, I'm Italian. You don't eat pasta with sauce?
Yeah, so I'm Italian too. My whole family's Italian. They always have pasta with red sauce, like all kinds of sauce.
Yeah.
So for me, I just like butter. I like butter on my noodles, like butter noodles. And so when we're making pasta, we have to take some pasta out, put it in like a bowl for me, and then the rest just put the sauce all over it. But for me, I have like butter noodles.
That is the craziest thing I've ever heard. Like I would get kicked out of my family if I asked for that.
Noodles and chicken.
I'd literally get kicked out of my family. I can't believe that. I missed the video. I'd never seen this.
Everybody else in my family is normal. They eat the pasta with sauce and stuff, but me, nah, I'm different like that.
If you could have one meal the rest of your life, what would it be?
If I could have one meal the rest of my life, it would probably be butter noodles and grilled chicken.
All right, fair enough. So I'm sorry, I just had to ask because I'm with you. Like,
I mean, it's the whole texture, it's the way it looks, the way it smells. There's different tests that the foods need to pass before you start eating it.
I'm 100% on the page.
Tom, do you mind if I expose you real quick?
Sure.
Tell them your Buffalo Wild Wings order.
Yeah, so you're Mr. Buffalo Wild Wings. Everyone makes fun of me whenever we go out because I hate wings. I'm not gonna lie, I hate wings. So I get a cheeseburger and fries and mozzarella sticks. You know, like.
Okay. I mean, the mozzarella sticks are there, then the French fries, but not the cheeseburger.
All right,
the wings are way better.
I gotta ask one more personal question, for me at least.
Yeah, go ahead.
People make fun of me all the time. I need you to sell this for me. Please be on my side. Is it weird that I put mozzarella sticks in ketchup?
For me, I don't eat ketchup. I don't like ketchup, so I I can't even relate to. I don't know if it's weird or
Alright.
not because I'm just so far
All right, fine.
from dealing
I
with.
think you just put it on the internet that you put mozzarella sticks in ketchup.
Yeah, I don't know. People make fun of me all the time. I don't think it's that weird, but
I mean, it's you put in anything probably. So I'll put in like I don't know barbecue sauce. There's marinara sauce that I don't even really like, so I can't even do that.
right,
But
whatever.
I mean,
Wait, did
All
you
right,
say
well-
mozzarella sticks and barbecue sauce?
whatever. It's something that you put in sauce, whatever you want.
I'm cool with
I
that.
know we approach things a lot different when it comes to food, guys. I feel kind of like the odd man out on that regard.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this up really soon, and again, I have to ask you. So I was preparing for this interview, right? And I go to your Twitter. I've noticed you're a Mets fan. Now listen, you can see behind me. Are you a Mets fan, right?
I'm a huge Mets fan. I'm a diehard Mets fan.
That's why I like you so much, because I have also grown up a Mets fan. I gotta ask you, what do you think so far this season? How far are they going?
They're gonna go all the way. I would love to see Mets versus Yankees in the World Series.
Okay, me too.
I'm an anti-Yankee fan. I don't like the Yankees at all. It's literally the Mets, every other team, and then the Yankees at the bottom. But yeah, no, the Mets look great. They're on a hot streak. They're playing really well. They're healthy, so I think they're gonna go all the way.
I mean, I love that. I love it.
What's with the anti-Yankee rhetoric? Because me and Tom are like,
I'm an actual anti-Yankee fan. I don't know. Just
why is it so popular? I get it. They spend a lot of money. Like other than that, like I don't get why it's so hateful from like the Mets fan base.
just I'd rather just stick to talking about the Mets. I don't want to.
I knew I liked it, Doug. I knew I liked it.
Awesome.
I still like you, but like I'm like.
All right, listen. Is there anything else that we left out? Is there anything else that the world needs to know about Doug Edert? Or
No, I mean that's really it. I'm a very simple guy, just going with the flow.
very simple guy. Yeah, either Mets fan. I feel like we're the same. So
Yep,
there we go.
we're definitely similar.
I love it. I love it. So Doug, listen, we really appreciate it. Obviously, congratulations on everything that you accomplished in the spring, and the best of luck of you. At Bryant this upcoming season. So seriously, thanks so much for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. This was awesome. I had a great time here.
I appreciate it, Doug.
Yeah, I appreciate it too, man. Like for real, great talking to you.
Awesome. Thank you guys. You guys have a good day.
Thanks, you too.